Hi, folks. Hope you're all keeping well. Thanks for joining me. So, today we've got a brand new band on the channel. The band is Muses. This request comes in from one of my VIP patrons over on Patreon, Home Gnome. Thanks for the request. So, he's given me a very, very brief little blurb here. This is the first time I've ever heard this band. Muses includes Kanada Sato on drums, who is somewhat of a protege of Senri. I listened to some of Senri's music there very recently, so have a look around on the channel. You may see my reaction to one of their performances. The trio, it was incredible. So we've got Kanada Sato, apologies if the pronunciation is off on that, plus 3 other equally talented musicians. He says, note this video has 2 songs, but he's only asking me to react to the first song in this video. So if this is your first time on the channel, folks, the format of the video is I'm going to listen to this song right through without any interruption, give you some thoughts on it, and then I'm going to go back and run it through again, maybe talk about some of the things going on in it. That's it. If you enjoy this, please do like and subscribe. Consider supporting me on Patreon, getting your requests in over there. And yeah, have a look around the channel and see if there's anything else you might like to watch. Let's get going. Go. it's an unusual chord to end on. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yes, as you may have been able to tell from my effusive histrionics throughout that video. um, right up my street. Loved it. Loved it. That sent me way back to being a kid and playing the arcade games in the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom. Street Fighter 2 soundtrack, Captain Commando, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. This was like one of the themes from one of those levels. Like, I mean, it was just, and it's funny actually the timing of this because I have just finished arranging the Ken theme from Street Fighter 2 on solo piano, and I actually downloaded the original ROM soundtrack to be able to determine all the different parts and listen to it sort of isolated and so on, so that I could make the arrangement as sort of close as I can to the original as possible, but obviously making it all on the piano. So it's already written. It will be coming soon, and just finishing touches on the performance. Oh, yes, that actually, just while we're on that, another thing I should really plug is the Resident Evil 2, which I think in Japan was called Biohazard 2. The original soundtrack. There's a theme that plays whenever you save your progress in the save room or secure place on the typewriter. That theme, I actually composed 12 piano variations based on that theme. So I'm big on Japanese video game music, especially from the 90s. And yeah, and that's how you make a Roland electronic drum kit sound incredible. The ghost notes and stuff, the feel during the drum solo, but throughout, and the Roland keyboards as well, sort of, what do you call that? It's sort of very identifiable tones from a Roland synth, that are right throughout that. I love the fact that nothing was overly complicated. It's very memorable, melodic, expressive, and I love the sort of trade-off between the lead guitar and the keyboards, sort of providing the melody. Nobody getting in each other's way. And when it came time to solo, it was all very sort of restrained in the most beautiful way. Great little bass solo in there as well. So this was just right up my street. Super stuff. So thank you very much. And also, I could notice that I'm not the only one smiling. The girls couldn't help but smile as they were performing. There's something about this music just gives you some sort of, I don't know if it's a nostalgic hit for me or whatever, but there's something soothing about it and very groovy. So, shall we run it back through again? Yes. Please consider taking a moment to check out my other channel, JW Soundworks, where you will find unique cover song performances, newly composed piano arrangements, and all of my self-composed original music. That lead tone's beautiful. So one thing I want to point out right now, one of the sort of main motifs I've noticed in this sort of genre, especially since I was talking about sort of, hopefully by the time this video reaches YouTube, I actually will have the Ken theme uploaded, so you'll be able to go and have a look at that as well on piano. So something that's quite predominant in this sort of style. I know this isn't a video game soundtrack, at least, well, I say I know it, I actually don't know, but it's very much reminding me of that. And for this particular reason as well, as the others I've already previously stated, the use of delaying or offsetting the main beat in terms of the melodic content. So you'll notice at the very start that the keyboards come in on the second beat of the bar. Da, 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 da. 2, 3, 4, 1, da, 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 1, 2, 3. And later on, you'll notice that quite a lot, even though the drums are sort of quite straight ahead in the 4/4 groove, you'll notice a lot of the melodies come in on like the last, if you were to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, a lot of the actual melodic phrases begin on the and, so they're not on the downbeat, the start of the bar. Here we've got it delayed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Whereas later on you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, that's where it's coming in. I noticed that when I was transcribing the Ken theme as well. So much of that feature of putting that important sort of emphasis on an offbeat, if you like, is part of it. And we really should work out the key and the chords and stuff like that. Let's have a look at this. One, two. Right, so we're in B minor. And then we're going to G. So notice that whenever it moves to the G, the keyboards 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, da 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 da, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's work out the melody properly. Yeah. And so although we're in the key of B minor, those chords are actually, it's a B minor 7. You're hearing that A right at the top of that chord, and then you're hearing the F sharp in the G chord. Beautiful chords. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah, they're my type of chords. Love them. The guitar's actually quite low there, isn't it? Playing in around there within the first sort of 3 notes of the B minor scale and the 6th and 7th note. So there's your tonic note. It's in around there. Straight up Captain Commando. I love that. It's like one of the stages. Anybody remember that? Captain Commando. Every time you put the coins in, you know. So E minor. I think that's the chord progression there. So like E minor through the to the G major 7, back to the E minor, which is the relative minor. Oh, I'm gonna have to get the guitar out for this. Let's see. I need a little bit more gain, eh? Not warmed up at all, so this could go horribly wrong. But that lead tone, man. Oh yes. Let's see. So we're starting on the D. I think I've got the chord progression. I don't actually think it does go to a D over F sharp. I think it's still within the F sharp minor. F sharp minor, down to E minor. Let's go to A. E minor. Triplets. That's very sort of pentatonic. Let's see. It's very sort of minor pentatonic. Almost bluesy at times. Excuse the poor playing. Not warmed up. You hear much the bass is really holding that. So very, very thoughtful in terms of like the arrangement. You know, not just sort of like, well, let's just play, you know. I don't know what I'm doing that for. Hang on. You could play around with that, but it's very sort of precise in terms of, you know, the hooks and the motifs that we've already established. I love that. Keeps it all cohesive. Even the sort of the lines on the keyboard, they're very uncluttered, very unfussy, unfussy, yeah. I mean, that's me just improvising around it, but roughly in the same sort of style. You know, it's not getting crazy or full of all this. You know, it could get in the way. So I love it. It's all very melodic. Hearing that all day, the rest of the day. completely wrong. Let's move on. So what's cool there is that even though the guitar's got that sort of lead line, the harmony part is placed above it. So it's you're up at sort of like something like that. You know, it's actually the harmony on the keyboard is placed above it. Typically, if you've got the lead line, the harmony goes below it. But actually, it works because the guitar has a more cutting tone than the keyboard part. So your ear is still sort of primarily drawn to the original melody, even though there's a higher frequency melody being played, which would normally dominate the lower frequency. I think that's why it kind of works. Very 80s. That groove is just beyond. That is sick. Because you kind of expected that we're going to come back in with this, but that's really creative. There's that thing I talked about at the start. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's before the one. Really, do you know what I actually like? In behind the solos, you know, because there's sort of trading solos between the keyboard and the guitar, that, you know, if you listen to the guitar, sort of, when it takes a background, it's very, sort of, very overtly rock. And then you get the piano part. Whenever the guitarist is playing the lead, you can hear sort of going between the synth and then down to... They really complement one another, that sort of role reversal. So we got... So a wee bit flash there, but still not getting in the way. There's no point in overcomplicating it. That's enough spice in it. And I'm glad, same again now, this is the thing that when you've got a Floyd Rose system as she does, and I do, that you can get very carried away, you know. The right amount of distortion on. You get into all this stuff. I know, and that's cool. And she's got the flying V, of course, with the Jackson, makes me think of Randy Rhoads. You could get very, very silly. And do you notice that even when she's using it, it's sort of very used. sort of subtly. It's not all that. You can tell I'm out of practice because it's been a while since I was a teenage boy, and it's great. That's kind of what you do when you're a teenage boy and you've got a guitar, and you're not doing, your normal other pursuits as a teenage boy. That's class. What is that chord at the end? That's hasn't been used the whole way through the song. That's the lead line. This is going to be a hard chord to work out because it shouldn't belong, but it does. Let's see. Might need to edit this in, see how quick I can get this. Is that what it is? Like a G minor 6 type thing there? Yeah. It's almost diminished if you put in this note, but it's not a diminished. So it's nearly like a G minor. I think. I'll try it one more time. Yeah, those notes are in it. Very unresolved sounding at the end. Beautiful. Super stuff. Definitely going to be listening to more of this band. Yes. I'm out. If you enjoyed this, folks, keep watching. Do this stuff. See you again. If you didn't, sorry. But you're probably already gone. So if you're still here, you might have enjoyed a bit of it anyway. So I don't know how to end this. Bye. Aye. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. If you're passionate about piano, whether as a player or listener, or if you're considering online lessons or masterclasses, please visit my YouTube channel, JW Pianoworks. There you'll discover a wealth of piano performances with many more to come. Based on demand, I'll also be introducing video tutorials for piano pieces. Thank you.